What's up YouTube, Capital G here. Got some fairly competitive duels for you guys to check out. Once every while, I will get the itch to play some competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! And I will play off stream on like YGO Pro, just kind of testing. A lot of times it's me kind of playing a lot of the decks that do well on the regional circuit, if any of them pique my interest. And surprisingly enough, Phantasm Spiral actually made top 8 at a regionals about a week ago. I don't know if I saw this on Bortles channel or on Asian Persuasion 2008. It was on one of their channels, but it was a really interesting build, and ideally, like, Phantasm Spiral should be the best it's ever been, because obviously, like, Solemn Judgment is at 3, and that's the saving grace of every, like, control deck. And then there's also the Tenyi counter trap, which is basically Infernity Barrier for, like, Tenyi, but then also, like, Phantasm Spiral can play it too, because the deck operates on normal monsters. So, first duel is going to be me playing against a Zephyr Pendulum build. Looks like it's 60 cards, and he is running some Orcish cheese in here as well. This is going to show my inexperience with the deck. I was just looking for stuff to play at regionals. I don't know, man. This deck feels like, again, I've said this before, when you have Pacifist, it feels like you're playing a meta deck. When you don't have Pacifist, it feels terrible. I also was trying to play Extravagance at one point and Card of the Mize. It doesn't work. You just got to play Card of the Mize because you conflict with them too much. Anyways, he is going to go ahead, and this was a mistake. He's actually going to summon this guy right here. This is kind of like the Scrap Dragon type card. He's going to pop my token, but that doesn't do anything because that just gives me another token. So that was kind of fun. I was like, cool, I just get another token. He is going to go ahead and Pendulum summon, I believe, 3. I don't have, or excuse me, 2, but I guess it would be 3 monsters if you consider the Chronograph, excuse me, the Tuning or Harmonizing Magician being able to get you another monster. Now, I didn't have any Solemns, which would have been like lovely, but we do have Summon Limit, which is the next best thing, I think. So we have the biggest monster on field. He does get the Zephyr Divine Strike and Zephyr War. This shows inexperience right here on my part. I didn't know that the Sea Stealth attack has to be face up to get the protection effect for your face up spells and traps. I thought that you could just activate it and then pay the cost and you get to protect your cards, but yeah, it doesn't work like that. We don't have any spell and trap zones open, so we are just going to attack and pass. He's going to use the Zephyr War. You see me activate the Sea Stealth attack, hoping that I can just tribute my token and then be able to protect my summon limit, because I feel like if I have summon limit on the field, he can't really like play Yu-Gi-Oh! Knowing that he's playing like a pendulum deck, but whatever, we end up losing summon limit. And now at the very least, he can start doing some stuff. Now, the great thing about the deck is, obviously, I have the Phantasm Spiral Battle, which is kind of like a Regeki break in my hand. So even though this card isn't on field, it is still something that I can make use of. He's going to go for the Nightmare Phoenix, which I thought was weird. He's going to try to pop my Pacifist. We're going to use the protection effect, and then we're still going to be able to summon a token, which gets us another trap card. Now I realize he's playing Orcus, and I'm like, oh, so that's why he went for Nightmare Phoenix. But luckily, we have ourselves another Floodgate, and there can only be one. So now we're locking him down. He's not going to be able to go into Galatea, or really, I think he might have wanted to try to go for like Nightmare Mermaid, but I believe that all the Nightmare monsters are fiends, so he's kind of stuck in this no man's land where he has a machine, a spellcaster, and a fiend, and I guess he could like make a Bowl Sword Dragon, but that would be asinine because I have these battles in my hand, and he knows that I have at least one. Anyways, we're going to use the effect of the Sea Stealth attack. A lot of people don't know that if you're level, I believe it's level 5 or higher, water sea serpent monster, I know it's the token. If your opponent battles it, you basically get to catastrophe their monster. You get to blow it up, and it's destroyed. We're going to pop his Pendulum Scale just to get rid of that. Plus, I wanted to activate a trap card while I had the ability and I had a zone open. Now we're going to use the Sea Stealth attack. We're going to attack a couple of times. He is going to pop the Sea Stealth attack, but I feel like I've basically won at this point. His top deck isn't really doing anything. As long as we got rid of the Pendulum Scales. What was his back row? Oh yeah, it was the Zephyr Divine Strike. As long as we kept them off the Pendulum Scales, I feel like Pacifist could just kind of be our way to victory. Plus, we had a Solemn Judgment as our backup the entire time, and we did have the Phantasm Spiral Power, which is basically like Phoenix Chain, but it also, well, it's more like an effect veiler, but it also makes the monster lose 1,000 attacks, so you can use it during the damage step. I think you lose 1,000 defense as well. Anyways, second duel is me playing Altergeist. I decided to switch it up. We're playing against Sky Striker. Man, everybody says this is such a hard matchup for Altergeist, but honestly, I just don't see it. I think that game one is their best opportunity. I feel like after siding, you have a pretty big advantage. Now, this guy actually blinded second because he's playing kind of a go second build of a Sky Striker with like mind controls and stuff like that. When players go for the Area Zero, I'm actually fine with that. I'm never going to use Ash Blossom on that. I just figure, you know, we'll just have to see if they hit something because they don't know if they're going to hit something or not. That's why I'm not using Solemn or anything like that. He did get multi-roll. Luckily, we have the Ghost Ogre, so I felt pretty fine with that. And then I know if he has Engage, I can just use the Ash Blossom on it. And then if he has another Engage, I can just use Solemn, and then hopefully he won't have a third Engage. That would just be nuts. But he did set the Impermanence in my column. I figured it was that Impermanence because why else would he set directly in my column? We're going to go for Caveman Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is, you know, just 1100 beatdown right here. And Altergeist can't do damage as a deck, just like Sky Striker. He is going to top deck Ray. He uses Impermanence, and this was a high-risk play for him. I guess it was high reward, high risk, but it's not going to work out for him because he's going to use Area Zero, then Chain Ray, but we did get our Solemn Strike, so we're just going to Solemn that. He gets another Ray off the top, but I don't care about that because that's next turn. Plus, I can use Solemn Judgment on it if I'm desperate anyways. We get Extravagance off the top, which was amazing. Gets us 2 free cards, Called by the Grave and Crackdown. A lot of people don't run Called by the Grave in their Altergeist build, but I personally like the card, and I don't like losing to freaking Red Reboot. I hate that card. He's going to attack. We're going to use Link Karibo. He activates the effect, and would you look at that? Called by the Grave, getting out, working, banishing Ray. Now I feel like we're in commanding position, even though he's going to use my own copy of Sequidius for his Area Zero. I don't care. Like, I don't need... Sequidius isn't a great monster on the field by itself, so if it dies, who cares? If it doesn't die, you know, awesome. But it's going to die for a Widow Anchor. I'll take that exchange all day. Basically, as long as he doesn't get fucking... excuse my language. If he doesn't get, what's the card? Engage, I honestly don't care. None of his cards honestly matter except Engage, which is why I immediately use Solemn Judgment on. That's like the one card that will just instantly win him the duel. He is going to get another Widow Anchor. But again, I feel like I'm still in commanding position. We get Personal Spoofy off the top. We're going to attack, seeing if we can bait out his Widow Anchor, which of course he's going to use because he doesn't want me to get Milu Seek, then be able to get a Surge. He is going to top deck Mind Control, kind of the go second build, but we're going to tag in our Mary for the Personal Spoofing. He knows that chances are I would have summoned Multi-Faker and then got like a Milu Seek, so he's just going to ultimately scoop it up. What was our set card? It was a Crackdown, which Crackdown is really not that good against Sky Striker. It's okay if they go for like Hayate, but in general it's not super good. It can be decent against Shizuku too. He is playing a go second build, but he actually went first in game 2 and just kind of set a copy of Widow Anchor and pass. I think my hand is exceptionally good. We open Extravagance, which looks really nice. We have Secret Village and Imperial Order. Now the thing about it is, I was a little afraid that he just had like evenly matched and he was trying to kind of next level me. If I would have had Miluseek, I would have just attacked and assumed that he had evenly matched, but I don't really have a way of playing around it unless I can kind of make Hextia, and I think I kind of played a little too scared and a little too slow here. I wanted him to use a spell card so I could kind of use Imperial Order, then I could summon like Multi-Faker and be good, but he never really played any spells, so that was a little interesting. I'm even going to discard my Sequidius here because I'm really trying to play around evenly match. I'm like, I feel like he has it. It was my sixth sense telling me it. Got another Sequidius and I'm like, yo, F this. I'm just going to start attacking. Now he's going to start playing those spells, Imperial Order. And I think I am going to fall into the evenly match. We summon Multi-Faker, get Miluseek, I'm going to attack, and then he's going to evenly match me. Now at that point, I felt pretty confident because I still had like a bunch of Solemn cards, and wow, is that 3 Solemn Strikes? Oh my goodness. This man is never getting monster effects this game. I have 3 Solemn Strikes, plus I have the win con, which is Secret Village. This is why I don't think the matchup is that hard for Altergeist. You have Imperial Order and 3 Secret Village, and Secret Village works second or first against Sky Striker, so I feel like I'm in pretty good position. He has the Down to Wrestler Pankratros, but we have 3 copies of Strike, so of course we're going to strike that, and I feel like the game is basically over. He can't activate any spell cards, and at this point I'm just trying to summon another copy of, or I'm trying to summon my first copy of Hextia, so I can't lose to evenly match, because I feel that's the only way he can kind of get back into the game. He sees his top deck. realizes that it's not something that's going to help him, and he is going to ultimately scoop it up. So yeah, he doesn't really have any options left, and he is going to scoop it up. Again, I don't really think the matchup is all that difficult. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy these duels, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.